If we look towards the entire scope of Microsoft programs and customer types that they use to contract under, you will get an overview something like this. A lot of information on screen here. I will try to peel back the different layers one by one. So right off the bat, you see on the left-hand side, smaller customers and larger customers. So there's models for the smaller organizations and larger organizations. And basically that threshold at the moment is about 500 employees. So if you have 500 users or 500 devices that you want to license for your organization, those licensing models that you see on the bottom half of the screen are typically best suited for you. And on the axis horizontally, you see a differentiation between transactional and committed. Transactional, like it says, I want a license for Office Pro Plus and just one. Those are the models that you want to investigate further because they allow you to not be stuck to a committed offer, which you see on the right-hand side. And the committed offers means that there's certain rules that you are stuck with on what you can or cannot purchase. So for instance, if you are a large customer and you want an enterprise agreement, you need a minimum of 500 users or devices that you want to license with a certain set of Microsoft software or cloud services. Otherwise, you cannot do this because you don't adhere to the threshold for that program. Now, all different programs have different options on what you can procure. So you see a little icon for a building, and that means you could buy on-premise software licenses. Or if you see a little cloud icon, that means that you can buy Azure or different online services like M365 in those programs as well. The color scheme that you see states what type of contract it might be. So you have volume licensing agreements listed in blue. These are typically longer agreements that you need to sign with Microsoft that contain a lot of terms and conditions and rules on how to set it up. And then you have the yellow program, which is the Cloud Solution Provider program, which is available for both small and larger organizations, where you typically buy through a reseller of Microsoft, and that does hold Microsoft terms and conditions, but can be also blended with additional terms and conditions that that partner requires you to sign up to. And you have newer models which are directly from Microsoft, like the Microsoft Online Subscription Agreement. That one is not necessarily new, but they have revamped their websites in such a way that it's easier to purchase this day and age. What is new, fairly new, and keeps getting expanded on is the Microsoft Customer Agreement. It was only available for Microsoft Azure when it launched. It still is the main model that Microsoft wants to sell Microsoft Azure in, but you see that they will also start to release additional features into that contract, like Windows 365, and Copilot is going to be included as well. So pretty soon you might see that all cloud services will be available for the Microsoft Customer Agreement as well. Now, what is important to note as well is the difference between perpetual licenses and non-perpetual licenses. The name itself might give it away a little bit, but perpetual is basically if you buy a license, then you own that license. So for instance, if I buy a Windows Server license in an enterprise agreement, then I pay for that license, and that license is the right to use that software for as long as I want. So I have paid for it, it's mine, and I can use that version of that product, that edition, and that version of the product for as long as I want to. The other side is non-perpetual licenses, which also are often referred to as subscription licenses. Like if you start an enterprise subscription agreement, you sign up to the right to use that piece of software for as long as you continue paying for that piece of software. So when you stop, you basically stop renting that license and you don't have the option to use that anymore. You have forgone that option. So you need to keep renewing that subscription in order for you to be able to use that piece of software and continue to be able to use that piece of software. Finally, you see a note on the right bottom side around software assurance. Software assurance is Microsoft maintenance program. It contains a lot more. We do have material about this as well. Software assurance basically optional in a lot of the transactional programs and mandatory in the committed offers. So if you sign up to an open value company-wide or an enterprise agreement, you must include software assurance. Otherwise, you cannot sign up to this contract type.